East Coast Frank back here again with another snowstorm. Yay! Not yay at all. Very tired of the snowstorms on the weekend, not gonna lie. But we are out again. It is 5 o'clock now. I came out around, well, I guess it was like 12-ish, right around noon. The snow had picked up quite a bit. It was actually pretty hard to see out of the truck. Everything was icing up. I actually just got my wipers semi-cleared again, which is nice. It's slacking off a little bit, which is slightly concerning. The last projections I saw, it should have been picking up about now rather than slacking off, so that has me a little bit worried about the end time for this storm. Right now I think it was slated, or it had been slated, to stop around 11 p.m., which, although not great, is better than the last couple we've had, because the last couple we've had have been, start in the day or evening and run till the next morning as a scenario, and those are brutal, to say the least. We have got quite a bit of snow though this time. This one is a bit more than I think the last one was. Yeah, easily more than the last one was. I've already plowed this a couple of times. I'm just kind of scraping some things up. Most of the people have gone now for the day, so getting an opportunity to clean some areas off that I didn't get all that great earlier. Just kind of back dragging off the sidewalk here too to save some shoveling later, because I'm not a huge fan of the shoveling either. That's my belt, keeps dinging. Just 1 second. Don't like wearing a seatbelt when I plow. Sorry, RCMP. It's annoying to have a seatbelt tugging on you while you're pushing snow around. Yeah, so it's blowing a bit. It almost sounds like it's switching a little bit to ice pellets, which is, again, a little bit different than what I thought was coming. But it is still coming down. Most of the guys are out. I don't think there's anybody at this moment besides one fella that we've left home just for in case later or in the morning. We have another spot that requires some attention when the rest of us do finally stop. He can whip around and do a few things. But yeah, right now it's not so bad. Starting to get hungry. It's about the only thing at the moment. Probably have to stop for something to eat here soon. Truck's working good. I don't think I mentioned that in one of the last videos. I suppose I probably should have, with the amount of complaining I did about Ford. Ford did finally get it in. Like I said in one of the videos, they were going to take it in. It was there for 2 days, getting some parts put in it. The main one being the ABS module, which turned out to be the root of the entire problem, believe it or not. Yeah, everything's good. 4-wheel drive is great. Traction control is working. ABS lights off, of course. Wrench is off. Everything's off. Sensors are even working again, which they weren't when it went in. So I don't know if that singular module controlled too much in the computer or not. I'm not that familiar with how these trucks work with their computers and such, but it would appear as though that one little module being out messed with a whole bunch of this computer's abilities and functions. So now the truck is working great again, which is fantastic. Got the new tailgate on, all the lights are out. It's almost like it's a brand new truck again, which is a pretty good feeling for something that isn't that old to begin with. I mean, it was getting pretty bad. This thing's only a 2019. It's not that old, and it was to the point where I was just starting to regret getting in it. I mean, it was always something wrong with it, or something going wrong with it, or some new issue with electrical. Every time I'd start it up, there'd be something different. So I'm thankful that that's no longer the case. And yes, I realize I do not need to backdrag all this like I just did. I could have made a swoop through there and then just done some other stuff, but I like doing it like that. It looks better. I don't know why it matters to me, but it does. I like my plow jobs to look neat and tidy. Even though we're not at the end of the storm, it's just a bad, awful habit of mine. Can't let it go. I'll never let it go. I already did this out here earlier. I'm not going to re-scrape this yet. It's not worth it. Like I said, the only reason I just did that was because there was a bunch of cars there earlier, and now they're all gone for the day. So that gives me the opportunity to go in there and clean that up and make it somewhat neat and presentable until the next amount of snow adds up on it. There's always this wiper blade. Look at that. It's always, oh my gosh, that's annoying. Just 1 second. There. A little better, I guess. Not perfect, but it is better. Oh, we're going to go back further. So hopefully everybody is safe and sound at home, enjoying another peaceful snowstorm in Nova Scotia. I can't even say that with a straight face. I mean, honestly, before I used to plow snow, I used to love snow. And I used to enjoy snow days. But now that I plow snow, you don't really get to enjoy it. There's no snow days. Anyway, it's completely different when you're the one out that has to deal with it, rather than sitting home watching it snow from your window. But it is what it is, so that's where we're at. I don't think anybody, well, I shouldn't say I don't think anybody, I'm sure there are some people, but I think most people that plow snow share that same sentiment. You did enjoy it. Sorry about that. You did enjoy it until you're the one that has to deal with it. And it is blistering hot in this truck again. I did it again. I wore a sweater, and I said I wasn't going to do that again, but yet again, here I am with a sweater on. And regretting it already. At least it's not super dark yet or anything like that. That wiper, always in the same spot. That is so annoying. I don't know why that one freezes up like that right there. Anyway. We hopefully won't be out all night. If it stops at 11, we might be able to get things cleaned up and moved around at a decent time, probably 2 or 3 in the morning maybe, by the time I get all the other station roads done and straightened away, which would not be horrible. I would not complain, but that is yet to be seen. So we'll touch back in here a little bit. I'm gonna get this one finished up, and then, like I said, I'm probably gonna go grab a bite to eat. I might head down and poke open that other one, or at least go see how much snow is down there, see if it's worth poking open. And we'll go from there. So we'll talk to you in a little bit. Well, I'm back. Still plowing, as you can imagine. It's still snowing. Not nearly as bad as it had been, but it is still coming down. It's like it's starting to ease up a bit now, which is nice. It is now 10 to 11. And they claimed it was going to stop around 11 o'clock or ease up around 11. The latest forecast I just checked probably about an hour ago said it was going to be finished by 20 to 12. So that's good. Hopefully that's the case. I'd kind of like to get some of these cleaned up for the last time tonight, so we can put them behind us for this evening, but we'll see. I tried the GoPro with the head mount. I don't know. I don't know if the footage is going to be worth using or not. If it is, if it's mediocre, it might just be up in the corner here while I'm plowing. I had it on during some of the heaviest snow. It was pretty hard. I mean, I don't plan to use any audio from it because there was basically nothing you would hear anyway, except for my wipers bashing against the windshield and me being frustrated by the amount of snow and not being able to see, if I'm honest. So it come down pretty hard there for a little while. But the shovelers are out here now. I've done part of this spot already once again. Just kind of waiting for some people to get out of my way so I can do this other section. I might just start it anyway, because I have a feeling they're not going to move anytime soon. Like never fails. Big, wide open parking lot, full of places to park, and someone will always park where you haven't plowed yet instead of a spot where you have plowed, which leaves you in the situation where you gotta wait for them to move. I mean, these couple of cars in the front here, there is a couple of vehicles here that definitely are not moving, but the one that I'm talking about is actually shovelers that are here for me. And every storm, the same thing happens. They whip in and they park their truck right in the middle, right in the way. Anyway, whatever. That's just me starting to get salty because it's getting late and I'm getting tired. But like I said, at least there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Most of the other guys are doing good. One of my other guys actually just come up and let me know that his wiper kind of crapped itself. It's pretty funny looking, actually. He's gonna run down to the rubber duck there, the car wash, and see if he can jimmy it up somehow with a zip tie or something to hold it in place for now. One of the bars inside or something on the wiper let go and shaped like a half moon crescent right now, but anyway. It is still blowing quite a bit as I look across the building there. You can see it blowing off the roof still in the spotlight there. So there may still be some drifting here later on, but we will see, I guess, as the night progresses. That's me being tired. I'm just tired. Just tired. I'm tired and I'm talking to myself on a camera. I'm pretty sure in some places that's probably insanity. But for me right now, that's what I'm trying to do. Been watching the updates on the potential war. I mean, the Russian invasion, whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty scary thought. I was actually talking to one of my other buddies tonight, and you know, it really, honestly, truthfully, puts a lot of things in perspective. You have people, you know, in first world countries like us, where we have certain things and certain things available to us, and it go ahead, wherever you're going. Oh, that's my guy. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, just a sec, I'll be right back. So yeah, he was just checking in on the shovelers and their progress. He's in charge of the shovelers. Not a job I envy by any means. But anyway, he's keeping an eye on them for us. He was just asking if everything was going okay. And I said, yeah, for now. I mean, it's still early, right? Things will change. So they'll just have to stay on top of it. The wind's still blowing, so I imagine some stuff will need some attention later on as well. But we'll see what happens. So all we can do is see what happens. Anyway, to get back to what I was talking about, I don't even remember where I left off. But this whole Russia-Ukraine thing, it puts things in perspective, and by that I mean, so for instance, the Freedom Convoy, things like that. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and try to take away anything that anyone did or said or anything like that. I'm not looking to get in a debate, but what I am gonna say is, you know, when you have people in our country complaining about certain things, whether it be, you know, having to show proof of a vaccination that they don't necessarily agree they're going to get, or it is, let's say, even the more extreme cases. So even like the cases where people are not allowed to go into hospitals to see their loved ones. Okay, yes, I agree 100%. As a person that lives in Canada, and, you know, has afforded a certain amount of rights as a Canadian, I do feel that that is wrong. And I disagree with it, and I think that things should change, and I know that they will in time when the time is right. As it turns out, apparently the government has given in either because of the convoy or because of the science, whichever it may be. But those things are going to be changing slightly, with the exception of the healthcare. They said there will be some things that are still, regulated or rules, which is fine. But my point is, you look at that and you look at how we as Canadians, and I say we loosely, because I don't really mean we. Oh, just a sec. Excuse me. It's not COVID. I say things loosely because, because it's not all of us. But there is a large population, and that population who also disagrees with Trudeau. I am not a Trudeau fan, so let's not get that twisted. I'm also not a liberal. But again, let's not take this to politics, because that's not what this is about. This is about rights. And just seeing for 1 minute, watching some of the footage of the Russian-Ukraine invasions, seeing people screaming, bombs going off, jets flying overhead, helicopters, flying in unison over your head as you're, walking down the street, tanks rolling into your town, military personnel carrying guns, walking around like it's nothing, gunfights with people hiding under their cars and in subways. A country, now this is where, I want, if you are watching this is where I want you to pay attention. A country where the country itself now has said that if you're between certain ages, you're not allowed to flee. So your right as an individual is now gone, and you're being told you can't leave. On the flip side of that, the Russian side, the Russian population, not all of them in agreement with Putin, of course, because Putin is Putin. We all know that. So their population starts to do protests, peaceful protests. Putin has no time for that, and shows it quite easily, and just flat out arrests people instantly. So, do we really get it that bad here? Let's be honest. It's not that bad. Anyway, it could always be worse. Could always be worse. And that's kind of where I stand on that. I mean, just take 10 minutes out of your day. Anybody that, on either side of that debate, for the vaccines, non-vaccines, the mandates, the non-mandates, take that on either side, and either side of that coin, and take a few minutes and watch some of this Russian-Ukraine invasion, and then come back and leave a comment and tell me how you feel about that. Like, do you still feel fired up about those items, or do they seem somewhat trivial now compared to watching those videos? Oh yeah, I'll get out of his way. Yeah, that's all I mean by that. It just opens my eyes up a bit, I guess, is what I'm saying. Where we're now living in a world where a world war is a possibility. Mind you, I don't think any of the parties involved want that. And I'm pretty sure even Putin doesn't want that. He is obviously playing the the strong lead here, because the other world leaders are not exactly the most strong, to put it, I guess, mildly. But yeah, it's just, that's my point. That's all I want to say about it. Just watch a few videos and ask yourself, what's really important? The fact that, we can wake up in the morning, go grab a coffee, get in your vehicle, drive to work, and not have to hear an air raid siren or flee to an underground subway to avoid shells being fired. There's so much more in this world that's important than some of the stuff that we, I guess, found the need to discuss at the time we did. And like I said, I'm not taking away what they said. I get where they're coming from. But what I'm saying is now that we're where we are now, look at it again and tell me, honestly, do we have it that bad? Trudeau was wrong. Trudeau will always be wrong. And I don't believe Trudeau should ever be put back in power. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, things could be a lot worse. How would you feel if tomorrow you were suddenly told, don't go anywhere. You need to defend your country. You need to pack your bag, like so many Canadians are right now, and leave for a war and not know if you're coming home. It just, honestly, truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, I never in a million years, after watching all the videos, after watching all the movies, after watching all the interviews, reading the books. I mean, I was a bit of a war buff when I was younger. And after all that and seeing all the things that we went through and knowing that, our ancestors fought for our freedoms, a lot of them died for our freedoms, I never, ever thought in a reality that we would be in a situation where we would say, oh my, that there might be another war, and it might be a really bad one. I mean, you talk about world wars with someone like, Germany at the time. Yes, obviously, it was a bad war, but that's not a Russian army, and it's not a Russian military. It's not a Russian nuclear program. It's all the things that we've always, with all the little battles that happened, and I say little subjectively to the plot of Russia, not to belittle those battles, because obviously a lot of people fought very hardly during the Iraqi wars and the Afghan wars and things like that. But I don't know. Like, does it just not seem real? It doesn't seem real to me. And it's really upsetting when I think about it, that this is where we're at now as a society, as a world. This is a topic of conversation. It just boggles my mind that we could be repeating some of the worst parts of our own history in 2022. Like, did we not learn anything? Anyway, this is a bit deep for snowplowing. But it's what happens when I sit in the truck and I'm plowing. I sit and think, and these are the things obviously on my mind right now because of the news and because of this is what is going on. And it, like I said, it's scary, and it scares me, and it should scare everybody. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that and leave that one alone and probably shut this recording off, because otherwise I will keep on rambling. Because that's what I do when I get tired. So I'm going to shut this off for now. Probably come back and shoot some forward footage maybe in a little bit when I know for sure things are getting cleaned up. And we will see you then. Thanks for listening to my rant.